All right. Good evening. Namaskar. Hare Krishna to all of you. Thank you for gathering this evening, Saturday evening, 20th September. And we are continuing our weekly systematic study of Bhagavad Gita under Gita Amrutam Rasamalyam. So slowly but steadily, like at the same time, at a good pace of the Golaka Express, we have reached session number 15, and we are on a very important mode of chapter 2, the title of which is Contents of Gita Summarized. And today we'll be discussing some of the very key aspects of karma, and we'll be also introducing the Buddhi Yoga and the benefits of Buddhi Yoga. So far, we have been seeing whatever we have learned till now is that how Krishna is trying to convince Arjuna to perform his duty of a Kshatriya, that is to fight. And Arjuna, for some strange reasons, despite being one of the best, the best warrior, he was reluctant to fight because he was overpowered by compassion. So for that, Krishna first gave him the knowledge of Sankhya Yoga, which is also called as Jnana Yoga, and where Krishna provided the basic knowledge of soul and body, or matter and spirit, the difference between the two. So this was explained to refute Arjuna's reasoning to back out on the grounds of not fighting for compassion with his relatives and teachers and so on. And then Krishna also explained the matters pertaining to Sakama Karma Yoga, and now he has entered into Nishkama. We will once again touch upon the Nishkama Karma Yoga. And this is basically the idea of Krishna is to encourage Arjuna to perform his duties. And he wanted to entice him to show that what rewards are awaiting him. And on the contrary, if you don't fight as a Kshatriya, then what sins are awaiting you, including the infamy or humiliation, criticism, whatever, will be thrown at him. So in that explanation, he explains to Arjuna to keep a single pointed focus, that is Vaivasyatmika Buddhir, Ekaha Kuru Nandana. So this is what actually the point was. And now we have reached the real creamy part, or the you can say the icing of the cake, which is the Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. So he is now enticing him by throwing the benefits of Buddhi Yoga, which we shall discuss today quite elaborately. So all right, let's move ahead with this. And why is the slide not okay, it's advancing now. Okay, so I would like to pay my respectful, humble obeisances to my spiritual master before I begin. Seek his blessings. His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swami Maharaj, also known as Dr. T.D. Singh in the scientific world, who is the founding director of Bhakti Vedanta Institute. And Bhakti Vedanta Institute is the scientific arm of ISKCON. And Dr. T.D. Singh has also founded Institute of Science and Religion in Navi Mumbai, in which I am associated with, along with my sister and brother-in-law and few other members also. And his Samadhi Mandir is there. You can see there on the picture, which is located in a place called Radhakund, which is about 20 kilometers from Vrindavan. So the Golaka Express, which is accommodating all of us, we are in a journey now, traveling quite merrily, enjoying each other's company. And Krishna is slowly opening to us the secrets and benefits of acting in Buddhi Yoga. So we shall see what unfolds today in these verses that we are going to discuss. So of course, we'll begin with where we left off in the last session by Sri Shyam Sundar Rao, which was primarily focusing on Nishkama Karma Yoga, verse 47 to 49. So 47 was already touched upon, where Krishna is trying to elevate the conscious of Arjuna by trying to get him over the principles of Vedas. Nishtray guna bhava Arjuna. That means these things rise above the gunas which are mentioned in the Vedas. So this was the famous verse that was discussed. Yes, it is coming on the screen now. So this verse is 247, which was touched upon last week. Karmanya evadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbur mate sangostvam akarmani. So this is a very, very important and also famous verse that Krishna is giving, and many of the people who may not be fully conversant with Bhagavad Gita, they somehow know this verse thanks to the Mahabharat serial of B.R. Chopra, which was, and this was the title song like by Mahendra Kapoor. So people by hearted that way, and then somehow they know this verse very well. But what is important is to know what exactly is Krishna trying to convey through this verse. So Krishna is conveying four important aspects to the listeners of Bhagavad Gita, and that is, first thing is karmanyevadikaraste. That is the first point. In that, what he says, you have the right to perform your prescribed duty. Okay, and then he says ma phaleshu kadachana, but you are not entitled for the fruits of your action. And then he says ma karma phala heturbur, that is, never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and mate sangostva akarmani, never be attached to not doing your duty. So this was discussed last week. So we will just quickly touch upon that, because the fundamentals and concepts of this verse would form the basis of understanding the different types of karma, and then it will be easy to jump upon the concept of Buddhi Yoga and the benefits of Buddhi Yoga. So what does, so let me just go to the next slide. Let me see what's coming next. So here Krishna talks about detachment of some form. You can see here. Yeah, I've not yet moved the slide. So here Krishna is giving an idea when he says that you have the right to perform your prescribed duty. He is talking about a prescribed duty for which we have an adhikar. Okay, we have an adhikar to do the duty. That is what, from where we get the performance. So performance does matter. When we say in the corporate, performance matters, and based on, but performance is not all that matters. It is primarily what you have to see is that how you perform your prescribed duty, because then automatically performance is taken care. And then of course, is the most important guideline that is coming from this verse is that be detached from the results and not the goals. So we have to understand what kind of prescribed duty does Krishna mention here. So last week again, this point and this example was beautifully covered by Shyam Sundar Rao. I'm just revising it once again. There are two types of work that we can think of. One is material work, which results into material results, and then there is spiritual work, which results into spiritual results, which gives spiritual results. And both the work, material work and spiritual work, have got some goal. Like for example, the material work, the goal is to gain wisdom and not just acquire fruits. That means there are a category of people who don't think much about the wisdom part. There's a call incoming. Who don't think much about the wisdom part. That means wisdom is, as we call in the management parlance, the higher vision. Whenever we work at a particular level in the organization, we are given a task by the manager, but we must always see how this task dovetails with the company's mission and vision. If I don't think about the mission and vision and I just think about my task, all right, you can perform the task, but you are not a complete person then. You are just a bits and piece player. Okay. And then when you do a spiritual work, then what happens is your goal is self purification, because you have understood that you are not this body. You have understood Bhagavad Gita and then you are acting accordingly. You are performing your duties on the body platform, but at the same time, you know that you are a soul, you are a Atma. So when I do this and I offer the results, I don't take the results, I offer it back to the creator. That means it is a self purification for me. So that is what actually Krishna is slowly trying to hint. So this example was shown last week. Three categories of men doing the same job, but you can see that their conscience is different. The first person who is laying the bricks, he's just saying, what work are you doing? When you ask him, he says, I am laying the bricks. So this is the lowest possible level that you can think of. That means he's just doing the task that has been given to him without thinking too much beyond that. And the second person is thinking something more, and is thinking that, oh, I'm contributing in making a big wall, because he knows some bit more beyond the work that he's doing. But the third person who is doing, you can see that he is saying that I am building a temple. Now that is a change of consciousness. He may not be entirely building the temple, but he's taking pride in saying that whatever I am doing, this is going a long way to build a temple. So this is the kind of change of consciousness that is expected when it looks like a material activity. All the three people are doing the same activity, but you can see the consciousness is different. And this consciousness that the third person is displaying is nothing but Vaivasayatmika Buddhir. So this is what actually is a single pointed focus, and the focus is on Krishna consciousness. That means how do we bring Krishna consciousness in our day-to-day activity? That is what we are discussing today. So now in a simple example, if you see, people can work in a body platform and not think something beyond. A lion, for instance, runs after the deer, and the deer runs after the grass. Both are actually doing their duties according to their bodily nature. But as a human being, we are not meant to just solely work on the bodily platform. We are meant to practically think beyond that to gain, spiritual knowledge and to get purification. So therefore, it is imperative that we take the lessons from Bhagavad Gita that Krishna has given to Arjuna, and then see how we can apply that in our day-to-day aspects of our work. So this brings us to very important aspects, because when we do some work, the work itself is called action, and action is karma. And then there's a reaction that is coming from the work, that also is karma. So karma means action and also reaction. So any work you do, it produces a karma. We are doing an action, and any work also produces a reaction. So it is important for us to understand the different types of karma. So karma, as Prabhupada explains, there are different three types of karma. Okay. So one is karma, other one is vikarma, and third one is akarma. Now within karma itself, that is action, there is something called as nitya karma. Nitya karma is that karma which is purely you're doing the job or task as per your prescribed duty. That means you belong to Varnashrama Dharma, a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So each of these classification of Varnas have got certain prescribed duties. Like we know the Kshatriya's duty is to fight, and the Vaishya's duty is agricultural produce. The Brahmana's duty is to do yagya, and do mantra and utter mantras. And then, so do all that. And then Shudra is supposed to support all the three Varnas, and therefore a complete harmony of this Varna ashram is taking place. Now, this is defined in Vedas. So, to follow properly as per the principles of Veda is our Nitya Karma. So, that is what is, so it can produce auspicious, and if you don't, you're following it, but then sometimes there can be some negative reactions because you have done some mistake in the activity. So, you get some inauspicious result also. But what is important to note is that Uh, the guidelines are given by Vedas, and it is called as Pushpitam Vacham. Pushpitam Vacham is what? That is, Vedas are like a flowery, words. Pushpitam Vacham. And then they entice you to do activities which are for your promotion to heavenly planets. So that is your Nitya Karma. So you can define Nitya Karma as your routine duties or routine activities or routine rituals. Okay. Now, for example, there is in the Brody platform, there is a dharma for the there's a karma for the father, there's a karma for the mother, there's a karma for the when I'm saying karma, I'm referring to the action, activity. There's a karma for the putra, bratra, brother. So these are all different. Everybody has got certain action, activity to perform. So these are all coming as a routine activity or nitya karma. Then there is something called as kamya karma. Kamya karma is something that is desired activities which are born out of lust and greed, bhoga aishwarya. That means somebody who is too greedy, and and he is doing the activity for a particular purpose to satisfy his greed, too much of desire. A simple example: let's say a person in the organization is doing his job very well, all right, but he is keeping at the back of his mind only two things. One is promotion, other thing is a pay hike. Okay, now he's least bothered about what the activity, how this activity will contribute to the organization, how he's going to become a tool in aligning to the vision of the company. He's not bothered about that. He's just bothered about, if I do this perfectly, I'll get promotion. If I get promotion, I'll get a good pay hike. So that is driven by lust and greed. So this is basically kamya karma. And here, what happens is, instead of single pointed, sometimes one is driven by bahusaka, because these desires could be multiple. Somebody is driven by a desire for pay packet. Somebody is driven, the same person might be having a desire for, something else, because he is a person driven by desires. So such a person will have multiple desires also. So bahusaka hi anantascha budayo avyavasayanam. So that means this is completely opposite of vaivasyaatmika buddhi. So instead of a single pointed focus, here he is having multiple things, and therefore he will not be resolute. He'll be irresolute in his activities. That is what is kamya karma. And the third thing is emergency karma. There is something called as an emergency karma, where it is situational based, because sometimes let's say there is no proper brahmana priest available, and the kshatriya person, he under the based on the need of the situation, he becomes a brahmana and he does that activity. Or let's say a brahmana becomes a kshatriya because, let's say, there's an intruder in the house, okay, who has come to attack the house. In such a situation, a brahmana cannot say, "Oh, I'm a brahmana, so I cannot fight." He may immediately bring up the kshatriya qualities in him, and he may try to fight the intruder, because the intruder otherwise may harm the entire family, or may cause more damage to the house. So, as a emergency situation, he may do a different karma, which is not sabhavik for him. So these are exceptional duties, and because he's doing exceptional duties, he is not under the influence of any sins, because he is allowed to do that as part of his situation that is required. So these are the three broad classifications within karma or action. Now there is something called as vikarma. Vikarma is what? Those things which are forbidden action. That means, let's say, illicit sex, or say gambling, or say intoxication. These are not actually prescribed in any scriptures, but it is basically forbidden activities or forbidden action. But somebody decides to do that, or something which is against the scriptures, that becomes vikarma. So then what happens is, you will incur sins. Now there's third thing called as akarma. So as I said in the beginning, you understand karma by an action and also a reaction. So akarma primarily means that, okay, if I do this, there is a reaction, so I better I don't do this activity only. I'll just, go to Himalayas and I will just sit somewhere. I will not do any of my activity. That means my prescribed duty I'm not doing in Kali Yuga. Okay. So now, for example, here Arjuna, classic example, is a Kshatriya and he backed out from fighting. And what did Krishna tell him? Krishna told him that this will give you a sinful reaction. He told this famous verse in 2.33, Hitva papam avapsyasi. That means you will be implicated by sins if you don't do your activity. So that is also akarma. And another definition of akarma is that you do activity where there is no reaction. So understand this. Normally, every action has got a reaction. Every activity has got a reaction. I am doing something for which I don't get any sinful action, no reaction. So that is what is now Krishna slowly driving to that kind of thing. That means he's telling Arjuna, fight as a matter of duty because you are a Kshatriya. Because if you do that, then he explains in the fourth chapter, which will come later, he says that this will give you an auspicious path of liberation. And that is Vaivasyatmika Buddhir. Okay, now right now we have been only exposed to a small portion of Vaivasyatmika Buddhi, but the more explanation of that will be clear when we come to the fourth chapter. So right now we don't have to break our head. It is just trying to understand from the surface level what are the different types of karma and how they implicate us and how they can play a role in our activities. Because sometimes these questions are asked, what will happen if I attack an aggressor? Because as per Vedic injunction, you can attack an aggressor. And who are the aggressors? The Vedic injunction says there are 6 types of aggressors. One who is a poison giver, one who sets your house on the fire, and one who attacks you with the deadly weapons, and one who plunders your property or richness, one who occupies the land, your land, and one who kidnaps your wife. So these are the 6 categories of aggressors. So when such a person is supposed to be categorized as aggressor, and such an aggressor, if he is killed immediately, there is no sin incurred. So you can say this comes under emergency karma also. Okay. So we have understood nitya karma, we have understood kamya karma, we have understood emergency karma, and primarily we are trying to drive this point from the verse that Krishna says, Ma phaleshu kadachana. That is the first level of detachment. That means I am not attached to the result. So two things. One is the activity and the result. I do it as a duty. Okay. At the same time, I am not attached to the results. And also there's a hint that don't think that you're the cause for the result also. Don't think that you are producing or you're the cause of the result. Because there can be so many causes. For example, if a farmer starts thinking that I did the complete tilling and because of that the crops have come up so beautifully, that is partially correct. It is not completely correct. For a crop to grow nicely, he has to get good fertilizer. The tilling has to happen at the right time. He has to have the right combination of the soils, okay, nutrients, and then above all, there has to be proper rainfall. And then the if he's using a tractor or if he's using a bull or a ox, then they have to perform their work properly. So there are so many factors. So if he's understanding the complete causes, then that is fine. And then mate sango astva akarmani. So that means we should not be attached to not doing the work. That is what is akarma in one sense. Okay, I will not do the work. So we should not be attached to inaction. That is what it means. We should do the work. We should try to do the work that pleases the highest goal, that is Krishna, and this purifies our soul. And that is what we should look at. And vikarma, we have already understood, it is forbidden activity. Okay. Now, sometimes it may confuse and we may think that, oh my God, this is so many things are being covered now, and it is slightly going above my head. Karma, vikarma, akarma, nitya karma, emergency karma, and all that. But don't worry, Krishna himself says in the fourth chapter, 17th verse, that karmano hi api bodhavyam cha vikarmana, akarmanascha bodhavyam, gahana karma gatihi. The intricacies of action, that is karma, are very hard to understand. So Krishna is with us. Therefore, one should know properly. He says, Krishna says, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. Once this concept is properly understood, then it is a smooth sailing for the rest of the entire course of Bhagavad Gita. So I've just put a slide, one more concluding slide on the complete summary. People watching on mobile phones may have to probably just zoom it to watch this matrix properly. I will read out for the benefit of all. So karma as a summary means understanding it. Karma means action. Karma also means reaction. So karma means prescribed duties as per Varnashrama Dharma, following the rules of Vedic principles. Okay. For example, carpenter's skill or a surgeon's skill. So let's say I've shown here. Now a surgeon, his job was what is the job of the surgeon? To do surgery. That is his skill. The job of the carpenter is to make furniture. That's his skill. So that is the skill he has acquired, guna. So to do that action, karma and guna karma, that is his duty. Okay. But he should not be attached to the results, because attachment to the result, even though it's a positive way, but it creates a positive attachment. So that means there is a bondage. And then again, he'll be confined into this material world. We'll talk about that subsequently, but it's enough to understand that at this stage. Vikarma is forbidden action, capricious work, or actions without the sanction of the scriptures or authority. Okay, actions that don't have sanction from scriptures or higher authorities, like illicit relation, gambling, criminal activities, they are all coming under vikarma. So we have to guard against all this, because sometimes the companionship that we move around, we are good, but they are bad, and they slowly draw you into that kind of a association. Association matters. So bad outcomes or reactions to capricious work causes bondage in a negative manner. So karma is positive, vikarma is negative. And then there is akarma. Akarma is I decide not to perform my prescribed duty. That means if the surgeon says, oh, I don't want to do this surgery at all, even though he is qualified to do it, but he backs out. Or like Arjuna says, I don't want to fight now, this battle. So this is actually, or a soldier at the battlefield says, I don't want to fight. But that's his duty. That means you're not performing your duty. So this, according to Krishna, is sinful. 2.33 says that it will lead to sinful reactions. So Lord Krishna therefore advised Arjuna not to be inactive due to compassion. All right. So here you can see, if you give a knife in the hand of a surgeon, he will do a nice surgery, and the same knife, when it goes in the hand of a miscreant, he will create havoc. He can even murder a person. So hitva papam avapsasi. That is, if you don't fight, it's a sinful reaction. So fight as a duty, as a matter of a kshatriya, then there is no reaction, and instead it's an auspicious path of liberation. Now, this brings us, so we have understood now this is basically nothing but Nishkama Karma Yoga. So, but the verse that we discussed now, 47th verse, that is purely Nishkama Karma Yoga. And Nishkama Karma Yoga is outlining one basic principle, that is, do your duties without attachment to your work and to your results. So, we come to verse 48 of the second chapter. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhya samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. So here, yogastha kuru karmani, that means you do your duty, kuru karmani means you do your activities. Yogastha, that means as a very equipoised person. Now, how can you be equipoised? By Sangam Taktva. That means you give up the attachment to the work, you give up the attachment to the results. Sangam Taktva, that's what it means. O Dhananjaya, O Arjuna. Siddhi, Asiddhi. That means when you are having success or when you are having failure, be Samo Bhutva, be equipoised in success and failure. So this is possible only if you detach yourself from the results. If you think it is my work, my fruits, then you're getting carried away to success or you're getting pulled down by the failure. So you have to be that way. Samatvam yuga uchyate. So this will be, if you can do that, there is equanimity. And samatvam, that is equanimity. And that is the yoga of equanimity. And that is called as yoga is equanimity. This is a Nishkama Karma Yoga. Okay. So let's read the translation. Perform your duty equipoised. O Arjuna, that is Dhananjaya, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. So this is the problem with most of us. Why do we get dejected or we get elated in extreme situations? Because more than the work, we are attached to the results. And we are doing the work only for the sake of results. So we have to do a paradigm shift in our the way we do our activities. We should think that this activity I am doing as a duty. I am doing this activity not for myself, but I am doing this for Krishna. You have dovetail your consciousness from material consciousness to spiritual consciousness. For instance, if I'm a student, one may think, how can I do this for Krishna? Oh, very well. Srila Prabhupada told my Guru Maharaj, do PhD for the sake of Krishna. Because when you become a scientist, you can teach the whole world the scientific knowledge of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita in a scientific way. People will listen to you because you are PhD in organic chemistry. So that means you utilize your knowledge, education for a higher cause. On the other hand, if I just restrict my education just for the sake of my marks, for the sake of getting some number in the ranks in the institution or in the university, then I am like a miser. Kripana, that will come in the subsequent verse. I am too limited in my resources. So we should not think that way. So the moment you think in a higher way, then you will see that you are getting detached automatically, because then nothing will bother you. You just think that you are a tool. You are an instrument in Krishna's hand. He is like a puppet. He is making you dance. The puppet has got no control. Krishna says, do this, the puppet does that. So for that, whatever adhikar you have, whatever adhikar, that means as per your position, guna and karma you have, you do that. You don't have to wait for Krishna to come and tell you, like, because we are not Arjuna. He has already come once and told Arjuna, and that instruction is given in Bhagavad Gita. So for us, the instruction itself is Krishna. The Vani of Bhagavad Gita is Krishna. He has told this way, yes, I'll follow this way. Krishna is telling me also. Krishna is telling all of us. So that is how we understand and we raise our level. Okay. Then we go to verse number 49. Dure nahi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddho sharanam anvicha kripana phala hetava. I just mentioned about this a few seconds earlier. So now, how beautifully Krishna is slowly taking us from Nishkama Karma Yoga to Buddhi Yoga. Apparently, it looks both are same. Apparently, it looks both are same. I know one of you had a doubt some time back whether Buddhi Yoga and Nishkama Karma Yoga is same or not. Now we are coming to that situation to answer that. So what is the difference between the two? Very fine line. Nishkama Yoga says, do your duty. Buddhi Yoga says, do your duty. Nishkama Yoga says, do not be attached to the results. Buddhi Yoga says, do not be attached to the results. Nishkama Yoga says, be equipoised in success and failure. Buddhi Yoga says, be equipoised in success and failure. But what is extra in Buddhi Yoga is that we are adding intelligence. In Buddhi Yoga, we are adding intelligence. That means the knowledge part has come and the mind has acquired the knowledge. Now, the intelligence, which is higher than the mind, is ordering the mind that, Are Baba, do this because it is a instruction for the higher authority. The higher authority is Krishna. Do this and don't worry about the result. Success or failure doesn't matter. You should be happy just by doing it. So the happiness comes from the activity, not from success or failure. That is Buddhi Yoga. So Durena hi avaram karma. So, and Buddhi Yoga Dhananjaya. So what Krishna is saying here is that Durena hi avaram karma. Except for work in Krishna conscious, avaram karma means all other types of karma. That is sakama karma. Avaram karma is also like sakama karma. That means basically you're doing this activity for your own satisfaction. The moment you do something for the own satisfaction, that becomes avaram karma or sakama karma, sense gratification. Same activity, you just transfer it to Krishna. There is somebody called Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. God is a person. He is my Father, Supreme Father. I am doing this to satisfy Him. And He has told in Bhagavad Gita, you do this, I'll be happy. Yogakshemam Vahamyam. Whatever you lack, I'll give you. And whatever you have, I'll preserve. He has given this guarantee. Why worry then? So, if you work with that consciousness, that is Krishna consciousness. Buddhi yogam, dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mami upayanti te, tesham satati yuktanam. This will come, of course, later. But all this are actually now build up. Krishna is building up Arjuna. He says, now, so far he has told him that, do this as per Veda. This is better. Do this, you will go to heavenly planets. Now, slowly he is coming to a stage that don't settle for heavenly planets because that is in the material world. You will be bound by karma bandhana, Arjuna. But you are destined for higher destination. Therefore, work with Buddhi Yoga. So, Buddhi Yoga Dhananjaya. That means by the strength of devotional service. Buddho Sharanam Anvichaha. So, Buddham Sharanam means what? Surrender with intelligence. Surrender with intelligence. In other words, what it means is don't take shelter of intelligence, but you take shelter of Krishna with intelligence. You see the difference? Just taking merely shelter of intelligence is not enough. There you are just acknowledging that intelligence is a higher authority and I'm taking shelter. That is not enough. That is good, but not good enough. But you take shelter of Krishna with intelligence. And then Krishna will give that buddhi, dadami buddhi yogam tam. That buddhi. So there are two types of buddhi. One is material buddhi, one is spiritual buddhi. What we possess now is material buddhi. But you're free to use that. You have the willpower, use it. But if you pray to Krishna, surrender to him, then he gives the spiritual buddhi, which is the higher buddhi, and that will overpower your material buddhi, and then that will tell you how to please Krishna. Kripana phala hetava. And those of us who work for satisfying our own self and want to enjoy the fruits of our action, they are kripana, miser. Because misers are somebody who accumulate wealth and then don't disclose. They don't want anybody to see that what they have, and they'll disclose outside only 5% of what they have. The real miserly intention. But that approach will not help here. That approach is not good because misers enjoy their fruits themselves and they get further entangled. That's a problem. They get entangled in what? They get entangled in material bondage. So therefore, we have an option of choosing between something called as unending rat race of this material world, or infinite, unending, whatever you may call rat race of this material world, or you can say that something we have an option of longing for the infinite. You can long for the infinite, which is Supreme Lord Himself. He is unlimited. He is unlimited, isn't it? So that way, that is how we should look at it. And so you can see here the advice given is Durena hi avaram, that means you reject all abominable activity. What Krishna is saying here, all other type of karma you reject. You just focus on Buddhi Yoga karma. That's all, it's enough. Oh Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities at a distance. By what? Devotional service. That means, see, if you say, I will not do the work, that is not enough. There's a vacuum. And again, you will fill up. So you will say, I don't do this. No, I will do this, but in a devotional way. That is, I surrender my consciousness, my intelligence to Krishna. And Krishna will give me the buddhi to enjoy the fruits for him. The fruits belong to Krishna. I'm collecting the fruits and giving it back to him. So this is how we should understand. Now we come, so Buddhi Yoga is introduced. Now Krishna is telling Arjuna what are the benefits of Buddhi Yoga. So the next four verses 50, 51, 52, 54, 53 talk about the four important benefits of Buddhi Yoga. The first benefit, Buddhi Yogo Jahatiha Ubhe Sukrita Duskrite Tasmad Yogaya Yujasva Yoga Karma Sukhaushalam. Beautifully. See, here Krishna says, Buddhi Yogo Jahatiha. What is Jahatiya? That means you are basically Jahati is basically you are trying to get rid of. So when you do Buddhi Yoga Jahatiya, Ube Sukruta Duskrute. That means all your good and bad results will be destroyed. When you act in Buddhi Yoga, that is what it means. And Tasmad Yogaya Yujasva. Therefore, he says Tasmad, therefore you strive for this yoga, because this yoga, he says, is perfect yoga. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. If you work this way, then it is supposed to be great ability or great skill. In short, what Krishna is teaching here is the art of working without reaction. So, art of working, the art of living, the art of the focus. Gaurang Prabhu has written art of focus. Then the art of mind. So many things people have written of the art. Here Krishna is saying the art of working without reaction. That means you work and yet there is no reaction. This is the first benefit of Buddhi Yoga. That means you work and you don't incur any sinful reaction, because it destroys Sukrita, Duskrita, all your good and bad results. So one may argue, oh, bad results I can understand, but why good results also? Because the good results are also, that is, favorable results are also binding you in this material world. Ultimately, what is your goal? Your goal is to come out of the cycle of birth and death. That means to come out of this material world or material conception, liberation. That is the goal. So you need to come out of these good reactions, good actions, and also bad actions. Therefore, Buddhi Yoga is the only option. That is what Krishna is saying here. So we should understand this by another example. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a very good example of you must have heard about this Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj was Kshatriya, son of King Uttanapad, and the grandson of Manu. So he was, since the dynasty of king, he was only 5 years old, and he was humiliated by his stepmother, Sunidhi. And then she told him that you cannot sit on your father's lap because you are not born from my womb. So get out of this place. And you can be sitting on your father's lap. You can dream of sitting on your father's lap only in the next birth when you are again born from my womb. See, so harshly the stepmother treated him. And then he went to his mother, actual mother, and he asked her, what is the way out for me? I am humiliated. I don't want to stay here. So his mother said, you go to the forest and pray to Vishnu. Only Vishnu can save you. And what was his prayer? His prayer was, oh Vishnu, I want a kingdom which is much bigger than my father's kingdom. I want a throne which is much bigger than my father's throne. And there should be nobody in this planet who can even match my kingdom, including Brahmaji. So that was his actually prayer. And then, of course, the rest is history. He met in the prayer, because of his sincerity, he met Narada Muni, and Narada Muni gave him the prayer, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And he prayed for 6 months, and in 6 months, he got the darshan of Vishnu. It became a reality. And then, when he got the darshan of Vishnu, he suddenly changed his mind. When Vishnu came, Vishnu knows what is in his mind. He has got a material desire. Sakama sarva kamova moksha kama udaridhi. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajatam purusha param. So when he did that, then what happens is, when Vishnu came, immediately he melted. And Dhruva said, "Oh, I don't have any desires now. When I have got diamond, what is the value of the broken piece of glasses that I was aspiring to?" So immediately Krishna understood, and yet he gave him Dhruva Loka. So Krishna satisfied his requirement of giving him the topmost planet, and yet this Dhruva Loka is eternal. When the entire material world is destroyed, this planet in the material universe will never get destroyed. So that way he gave him the darshan, because he prayed to Vishnu. That is Bhakti Yoga. So he converted from Sakama Karma Yoga to Bhakti Yoga, because Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He went to Vasudev. So that is how he transformed into, that is how we understand from this verse. Okay, now we go to the second benefit. Second benefit is Karma Jambutti Yoga Thi Phalam Tyaktva Manishinaha Janma Bandha Vinirmukta Padam Gachanti Anamayam. Karmajam. So karmajam is your fruity, all the results and fruits you get. So when you are engaging in Buddhi Yoga, uh, these kind of karmajam activities that give you phalam, this phalam you have to give up. So now the question is, how do I give this phalam? As I'm getting results after results, positive, favorable results out of my activity, it can be given up by Manishinaha. Krishna says Manishinaha. So Manishinaha is something which is practiced by the great sages and devotees. They have practiced this Manishinaha. So they do that. He gives example. Janma Bandha Vinur Mukta. So when you practice this way, you're free from the bondage of birth and death. So second benefit. The first benefit we saw, there is no sin coming in the previous verse, and now the second benefit is that you're free from the birth and death. Vinir Mukta. And Padam Gachanti Anamayam. That means you get a permanent residence in a place, Anamayam, that does not have any miseries. Which is that place that does not have any miseries? Vaikunta. Kunta means miseries. This Mrityaloka, full of miseries. And Vaikunta is why? No miseries. Anamayam. So that is Vaikunta. So let's read the translation. By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in this material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death, and they attain a stage beyond miseries by going back to Godhead. Padam Gacchati Anamayam. So, primarily, our problem is ignorance. That's the only problem. If you sum up all that, why we are in this material world, why we are suffering, and why we are after chasing after positive results, we want to grow bigger and bigger in material world, position, fame, name, all that is very, very small things because of our ignorance. One simple word, ignorance. So if we get knowledge, if Krishna gives us the knowledge, then automatically this Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya, it destroys our ignorance. Agyana, it goes away by knowledge. That is the power of knowledge. And then when Guru enters, then automatically he awakens your knowledge from within. And people want only success. This material world is, full of ambition. People want to think big. They want to dream big. And ultimately, all this, whatever you dream, is small in relation to what Krishna is willing to offer. Like Dhruva Maharaj was thinking of the topmost kingdom, and what he got was, so we think that our desire is the best desire. So we are actually minusculing what Krishna can offer us. and we are blanking that. Krishna says, okay, you want that, I'll give you. But that's not the best situation. He can give you much better if you go to him. That is how if we act with, do karma yoga using buddhi, that becomes buddhi yoga. Third reason, yata de moha kalilam buddhir vyatirasyati. Buddhir
Change the
vyati.
slide, Prabhuji. Yeah,
Yes, Prabhu?
we can see now. The slide had not come.
Oh, in my this thing, I'm able to see it. Maybe internet problem. I
Now
don't
we
know.
can see it. Now we can
Okay.
see it.
यदा ते मोहकलीलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदं श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च. So now Krishna is giving the third benefit. What is he saying? He is basically sounding like a metaphor. This is Moha Kalilam is like a metaphor. Buddhir. So Moha Kalilam is what? Like Kalilam is like a dense forest. And Moha is a dense forest full of illusion. I mean, imagine you're seeing a dense forest full of illusion and you're trapped into it and you don't know what to do next. So in that forest, so Buddhir Vyati Tarishyati. That means when you develop your mind in such a way, when you develop your mind in such a way that even if you get pleasures, even if you get pleasures, you are indifferent to it. Even if you get sorrow, you are indifferent to it. So that is because you are acting in buddhir. Huh? Buddhir Vyati Tarishati. So when you act with buddhi, then automatically what happens is it's Vyati Tarishati means you are able to cross or swim across or like there is one word Tarishyanti. That means you can tarantate. You can swim across. Swimming what? This Moha Kalilam, dense forest of illusion. Tada. Tada means therefore, thus, Gantasi Nirvedam. So when your mind is no longer agitated by such pleasures and thing, then it becomes very calm and automatically you are able to cross this forest of Moha Kalilam. And then what happens? Srotavyasya Shrutasya cha. That means when you are hearing what you hear in the Vedas, that is flowery words of the Vedas, that you will get this, you will get that, and what you are about to Shrutasya, what you are about to hear from the Vedas, all that do not matter because you are transcended beyond the Vedas. Taraya Vishaya. You have gone above that Vedas. So you've gone Trayaguna. You've gone above that Vedas. That is what it means. So let's see the translation now, what it means. So it says that when an intelligence has passed out of the dense service, you are in a Buddhi Yoga, passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and that you are about to hear. This basically refers to Vedic knowledge. You are gone above that because now your Buddhi is fixed in trance, samadhi. You almost reached a stage of samadhi. Externally, you are working, but internally, you have reached a samadhi because you're directly hotline connected with Krishna. And even some of the Vedas like Rig Veda, which is one of the most, I would say, largely talked about Vedas for material platform. That means if one wants to reach large understanding about what scale one can scale into material Vedas, material levels, then you can perform certain activities mentioned Rig Veda and you can achieve that. But ultimately, Rig Veda also gives a knowledge about how worshipping Vishnu is ultimate. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surya Diviva Chakshuratatam Tad Vipraso Vipanyavo Jagrava Samindate Vishnu Red Paramam Padam. That is the supreme. Worshipping Vishnu's lotus feet is supreme. Nothing can. This is the ultimate conclusion of Rig Veda. Therefore, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Vedesha Sarve Aham Eva Vedyo. That means the purpose of understanding Vedas is to understand me, Krishna says. It'll come in the, I think, ninth chapter. So, because I am the person to be knower of Vedas. So, therefore, when such a person realizes that, then he does not care much for the Vedic knowledge. He goes beyond that. He goes with Vyavasyatmika Buddhi, single pointed intelligence. That is Krishna. I must please Krishna. My activities will externally look like a normal materialistic person. I don't have to go to Himalayas to meditate. I will just chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then I'll perform my duties all the time, thinking about the Lord. So that is how we dovetail our activity. And then, we start glorifying Him. Then we finally come to the fourth benefit of Buddhi Yoga, that is there on the screen now. Shruti vipratipanate yada stasyasti nischala yada stasyati nischala samadha achala buddhis tada yogam avapsyasi. Shruti vipratipana. Vipratipana. So what it means is, Shruti means all this Vedic revelation that comes to such a person. Vipratipana, he will not be influenced by all this. Viprati means basically all these fruitive actions. Means you do this, you get this benefit. You do this, you get promotion. You do this yagya, you will get these results. You know, all this kind of shruti, what the knowledge is coming from Vedic knowledge. Viprati yada stasyati nischala. That means when you hear this from Shruti, and now here Shruti means something that is higher than Vedas. Okay, because Veda we already dismissed as, we don't want to hear Vedas. So whereas if you read something that is Viprati means it doesn't give you that kind of unwanted knowledge which Vedas are giving. That is Shruti. So which is that knowledge? That knowledge is Bhagavatam. So, yada sastyasi nischala. That is, when you hear such knowledge, Suti Vipratani, when you hear such knowledge, one remains completely unshaken and nischala, completely fixed. Then samadha achala buddhis. That means achala is the opposite of chanchala. Chanchala means the mind is wandering everywhere, and achala means it is fixed now. Mind is completely has come under control, and therefore we can say that it is completely fixed in trance or intelligence. And tada yogam avapsyasi. Therefore you get complete self-realization and you achieve what? A status of Jivan Mukta. Yogam avapsyasi means like your liberation. You attain the liberation, you attain the ultimate goal, the benefit you get from this. So this is the fourth benefit you get out of that. That is, you get primarily liberation. You are ready for liberation now. So when your mind is no longer disturbed by flowery language of the Vedas, and when it remains fixed, so it cannot. So you understand one thing. Previously, the mind is wanting benefits. You want benefits, so therefore it goes to Vedas. Now, when it gets the higher knowledge based on Bhagavad Gita's knowledge, and Krishna is saying this, then don't focus on Vedas, but you focus something higher. Then the mind is no longer disturbed by flowery language of Vedas, and then it remains fixed in trance of self-realization. At that time, you have attained the divine consciousness. And that is what actually is Buddhi Yoga. So when such a mind attains Buddhi Yoga, then Krishna is introducing a new terminology now, and with that we'll conclude. That terminology is called as sthitha prajna. From verse 54 till the end of the chapter, that means next 20 verses are going to be only on this two words, sthitha prajna. Who is a sthitha prajna? What is sthitha prajna? What are the characteristics of sthitha prajna? All that Arjuna is asking, and Krishna is revealing that to Arjuna, because now Arjuna is getting more and more attracted in this particular dialogue. So this last verse of the day we'll speak. So introduction to sthitha prajna. Sthitha prajna means what? The art of balancing. Somebody who is always at peace, not shaken by any disturbances or events. that come in. That means life is full of challenges. We get happiness, sorrow, distress, happy, peaceful mind. Everything will come, but you are not disturbed. You are always equipoised. You are balancing yourself very well, and this is easier said than done. For this, when such a person who is not influenced by Vedic knowledge, flowery words of Vedas, when he achieves achala buddhi, that is by fixing his intelligence upon the lotus feet of the Lord and bringing his mind under complete control, and then no more waves of desires will shake him. Then phalam tyaktva manishinaha. That means he will. Manishina actually means mana plus isha. Mana isha. That means isha means controller. He becomes a controller of his own mind. Otherwise, he becomes a slave of his mind. We are all right now slave of the mind. Mind is making you run in all directions. So he becomes manashina because he's using buddhi yoga and intelligence surrendering to Krishna. So he has scaled the complete forest of delusion. We saw that. And then now he's become Manishina, he's completely controlling the mind. And because he's controlling the mind, he's getting more and more, he's able to think more deeply. Because if the mind is not controlled, you can never think deeply. So by controlling the mind, you are able to think deeply. And when you get deeply, you are attracted to spiritual realities. The spiritual realm starts where your desire for material realm ends. And the desire will never end unless you get taste in Krishna consciousness. So therefore, we have to begin our journey in Krishna consciousness so that slowly our desire, unwanted desires are, vacated out or evacuated out. And then what happens is Janma Bandha Vinirmukta. So automatically we get the liberation from the cycle of birth and death. And Padam Gachati Anamayam. That means automatically you will be destined to get higher destination. That is the planet of higher planet of liberation. So last verse of the day is Arjuna Vacha. Now Arjuna is asking this question. Sthitha prajnasya ka bhasha samadhi tasya keshava स्थितदिहि किम prabhasheta kim ashita vrajeta kim. So 4 questions Arjuna is putting about the sthita pragya. What he is saying, oh dear Krishna, Arjuna is there is some echo coming from somebody's mic is on. Hare Krishna. Yeah, now it is okay. Now it's okay. So Arjuna says that Sthita Prajnasa Ka Bhasha. That means what are his symptoms of such a person who is Sthita Pragya? What are his symptoms? Kim Prabhasheta. Kim Prabhasheta means what will he say? How does he speak? Prabhasheta means how does he speak? On receiving his glories or blame or criticism, how does he behave? If somebody throws criticism at him, how will he react? So, what will be his nature internally and externally? So, Prabhasheta is complete about this person. Then Kim Asita. Asita means how does he sit? Kim Asita. How does he control his senses from the sense objects? And Kim Brajeta. How does he walk? How does he respond to sense objects? So these are the 4 important questions that Arjuna has asked. Very, very important. So from now on, the next 20 verses discussion will be only on this question of Arjuna. And next week and subsequent week and the verse after week after that, 3 weeks, we will cover 20 verses in which the concept of Sthita Pragya will be very nicely explained, because Krishna is beautifully explaining this. We will be presenting it in through some examples, and then we can see how we can proceed to our own well-being as becoming Sthita Pragya. Okay, so, oh Krishna, what are the symptoms of one who is Krishna conscious and is merged in his transcendence? How does he speak and what is the language? How does he sit and what does he walk? How does he walk? So all these things will be discussed in the subsequent. So, summary of what we discussed in Buddhi Yoga today. Basically, the benefits we discussed, one thing, there will be no reactions. One who gets rid of both bad and good reactions, that is yoga karmashu kaushalam. Then no birth and death cycle, he'll be free out of that. That means he'll be liberated. One who becomes free from birth and death cycle, that is janma bandha vinirmukta, and he gets a higher destination, padam gacchati anamayam. Then he'll be neutral to Veda, so he'll not be attracted to Vedic concepts or Vedic flowery language anymore, and he becomes neutral to the fruits of Vedas, and thus he'll be able to scale the moha kalilam, that is dense forest of illusion. And most importantly, what happens is he develops achala buddhi because of fixed intelligence and trance. He's always in a state of thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord. He develops like a samadhi like buddhi, and mind is no longer disturbed in that situation. Whatever comes in his life, he can easily handle it in a equipoised manner, and it becomes nischala, completely fixed, and that makes it suitable for self-realization because he gets jnana nishta, and then finally he gets sthitha prajna. So that is what will be discussed in subsequent verses. Now I want to show this cartoon and the video to you, this part of the reflection. So I'll play this video and have a look at this cartoon also, and then it will be an open discussion. I will open the forum. I want one or two of you to share the reflection, what you understand and how you relate with the situation after understanding today's learnings. Okay, so you can see the cartoon, what all is written there, and then you can also see the video which I am going to play now. I'm playing it.
Hmm.
All right. So let's open up this and then let 1 second. Okay. So this is open for discussion now. It's a reflection part. And I want one or two of you to raise your hand and explain what is actually mentioned here in the cartoon and how to relate that with today's learnings and also this video that we just saw now. Yes, I see one hand raised, and that is Sunita Sriram.
Hello, good evening, everyone. So I think it's a constant, we are finding excuses just to avoid any kind of relationship to have bhakti with God. And also, I think more or less we are trying to always go behind materialism. So I think this is so beautifully depicted in the cartoon as well as the video. So we're constantly chasing something, desires, unnecessary needs and wants that which is like not for just self-sufficiency, but something beyond. And excuses, yes, too many excuses. And all of this is so
Then
like
silent button.
relevant to today's world.
Wonderfully said, Sunita, wonderfully said. And I think you have really hit the nail by mentioning about the futility. The Shamsundar Prabhu, your video is, audio is on, I think. There is some sound coming from your side. Can maybe, yeah, thank you. So this is, yes, that's a very good reflection that Sunita madam has shared with us. I would like to see some more reflections coming from one or two people more. Would anybody else would like to also share some thoughts? How our life is going till now and how what we have understood. If possible, one or two terms which we learned today, can it be used in this? No, no one? Is that so tough? Yes, Bhuvanidhi has raised the hand. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Danvat Pranam. I'm too young to share my reflection, but what I understood is
No, one second. Dhruv Maharaj was 5 years old when he had the realization. Are you lesser than 5?
no, Prabhuji.
Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Uh, what I understood is it is like a cycle, too young to think about God and too late to think about God. And in the video, it keeps going. Nishkama yoga is just doing the duty as like materialistic, but Buddhi yoga is connecting to Krishna, which where we can avoid the we can stop the cycle of birth and death. But here we are neglecting, too young to think about God. We are, it's too much to think about God. It's too late to think about God. Again, it is too late to think about God. Again, we'll repeat the birth. It's like too young to think about God. This is what I understood.
Wonderful. Very nice. Very
Thank you.
nice. Very nice. I think you have explained the cartoon very nicely. Very good. Anyone else want to take one last chance before I give some summary of the reflections which I am presenting? This is a family only. You don't have to feel any odd what people will think. You are free to put because there are so many viewpoints that can come out of this. So each one has got their own bandwidth to think in a different way. Horizons are very very vast. So please think, keep the thinking button on, and come up with some ideas. What you learned, reflections from this. All right, there are no hands raised. So what I will do is I will share chat box. What is there in chat box? I didn't see chat box. Okay, there is one key learnings from today's session. Journey from material to spiritual world is possible only by developing a consciousness which is centered around surrender to Krishna. Very well said, Rajesh. Very good. That is Krishna consciousness. Very nicely said. So that's the learning from this cartoon also we see. Yeah, there was no time to surrender also. And it was too late by the time the person died already. All right. So I've collected few points. Let me share my points too. Let me see whether it's coming up or not. Oops. Yeah, has it come on the screen? Yes, it has come. So the first point what I want to share is that we are only performing our karmic duties, activities, which is giving us reactions in the form of pleasure and pain. Correct, huh? Most of us, we are caught in some sort of like since the time we are born, we are told to do like this and we perform like that. We were not thinking something in depth. Either our parents told us, elders told us, teachers told us, but these are not in line with the teachings somehow, strangely enough, with what Krishna is teaching us. Second is our concept is always materialistic and we weigh ourselves only on material success. And this is a truth. I have seen even today when I go to take some blessings of any elders in the family. When typically in our customary, we go to take blessings of elderly in the family. What blessings you get? You get material. May you be happy with good wealth. May you be happy, free of all ill health. These are all material things. We value that. But rarely anybody gives that. May you, Krishna Mati Rastu. May Krishna be always in your consciousness. Is anybody giving that kind of blessing to us? Other than a Krishna conscious person? No. Third point, we have no time to think of spiritual matters due to our ignorance. We are all ignorant in many ways, and hence we are not able to include God as the beneficiary of our work. We want to, We want to restrict to ourselves. That's it. I and mine. At the most, we may expand it to mine. Mine means my family, my children, my house, a little bit more extension, my society, my country, my region, and so on. Not beyond that. We are not able to think beyond that. So that is our ignorance. Whereas Krishna says, come out of this. You don't belong to this world. You belong to the spiritual world. So we are not able to think that way. That is ignorance. And the fourth is, because we are happy enjoying the fruits of our labor, we are attached to it. We think that what we have achieved, this is the ultimate. I dreamt of a Mercedes car, I got it. My God, this is ultimate. I dreamt of a 3 BHK, 4 BHK, I got it. I'm happy. But it is not long term. Such people who have got one Mercedes, they may aspire for one BMW, then one for Audi, and so on. It goes on and on. So the wise person realizes that that is not happiness. This is a very limited happiness. You cannot be attached to it. So we are attached to it. And then lastly, we think that we are the doers, and also we are indispensable. That's totally wrong. We are not the doers. I give the example of farmer. The farmer cannot think that he is a doer. There are so many people contributing to your work. And ultimately, there is a higher authority which is making you work. You are only a puppet. We are only a puppet to do it. So, therefore, it is very, very important that we go back to the first verse that we discussed today when we started. Karmane with the Hare Krishna. Ram Sundar Prabhu, आपका म्यूट कर दीजिए प्लीज. Thank you. So we started off with कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भुर माते संगो अस्तु अकर्माणि. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty only. What is second point? You are not entitled to the fruits of your action. Never consider yourself to the cause of the results and your activities. And what is the fourth one? Never be attached to not doing your duty. So these four in a dashboard, we should just put, and then we should see where we are fitting. Anything that we do, does it fit in any one of these things? Then 0 marks for ourselves. So we raise our level, and then we go beyond that. Okay? And these 3 lessons, I am taking home today. One is learn the art of work. Karmashu Kausalam, that Krishna is teaching us. And that is to work with devotional service, Buddhi Yuktaha, or Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, to get rid of good and bad reactions of work as they form Karma Bandhana. First lesson. Second is, if you follow the first, then we experience Janma Bandha Vinirmuktaha and Padam Gachati Anamayam. That is, we are out of this birth, death cycle, and we are out of these worldly miseries. This is higher intelligence. This is the real purpose of human life. And the third thing is, when we engage our mind and intelligence in devotional service, then mind is no longer agitated by these pleasures and pain. And then intelligence has scaled the forest of delusion completely. So these 4 are our important, these three are our important lessons that we learned. Okay, so we end the session now, but not before our fun time. What is the fun time now? Anybody wants to take a guess? Quiz time, yes. So we have 5 questions, very simple questions today. 1 or 2 might be tricky, but the answer is easily seen, and you can take a guess. Correct answer carries 50 brownie points, wrong answer carries -50. So think carefully, and since it is not fastest fingers first, you raise your hand. I'll pick the person to answer, and I would like to give chance to somebody who has never answered before. So, and if somebody is not confident of answering after picking the hand, you can say pass. So you don't get negative marks also. Hope the rules are clear. I'm starting the first question. As per this shloka, 1 second. Okay, I'm not able to see my. Yes. Is the slide visible to everyone?
Yes, we can see the slide.
Okay. Now I'm able to see. I think the net is slow in my. Okay. So, as per Bhagavad Gita Sloka 2.47, that is Karmanyevadhikaraste, it means I'm giving you four choices. That is the entire verse, okay? You have the right to perform your prescribed duty. You are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of results of your activities. And D, never be attached to doing your duty. And E, all of the above. Yes, let me pick. So only two have raised the hand so far, I think. Mhm. Only two have raised the hand, I think, no? Yeah. So Ramesh ji, I would like to give you a chance.
Sir, namaste. E, sir, all of the above.
All of the above. Are you sure? Shall I lock it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Answer is not E, but is A, B, and C. Why it is not E? Because the answer D is not correct. You see what I have given there? Never be attached to doing your duty. It should be never be attached to not doing your duty. See, I just removed the word not and then the meaning changes. Ma te sango asta karmani. Ma te sango asta karmani means what? Never be attached not to not doing your duty. Sorry, sir, but it's a good attempt, and I would say it's a really good attempt, and but doesn't matter. You know, in the absolute realm, minus 50 plus 50 doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm sorry, we'll go to the next question. So you get minus 50 here, where the answer is A, B, and C. All right, we go to the next question. Second one. Think carefully. According to Akarma, one of the principles is, so Akarma, there are a few principles. One of the principles of Akarma is one performs routine activities, one performs desired activities, one performs emergency activities, one refrains from performing activities, and E, none of the above. Think carefully. Some of my questions will be a bit tricky. It may look simple, but it may look tricky. So, okay. So this time, who has raised the hand? Only one hand, I believe, has raised. That is Bhuvanidhi. So Bhuvanidhi, you can go ahead and answer.
I think option D.
Option D. I think you must be confident. Shall I lock?
Option D, Prabhu. Yes,
Okay.
Prabhu.
Okay. Answer is correct. Very good. Very nice. You get 50 brownie points. Very good. Very
Thank you,
nice.
Prabhu.
Yeah. We go to the third question now. Carpenter using his skills to make a beautiful temple altar as a matter of devotional service to the Lord is an example of Sakama Karma, Vikarma, Nishkama Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, none of the above. Think carefully. Only one hand? Okay, Srinidhi also has raised the hand. Sanjana also has raised the hand. Let me give a chance to Sanjana this time. Yes, Sanjana.
It is option D, Buddhi Yoga.
Option D, Buddhi Yoga. Are you sure? And not Nishkama Karma
Yes.
Yoga?
No, it is actually they have mentioned devotional service, so it is Buddhi Yoga.
Fantastic. Answer is D. Indeed, you get 50 brownie points. Congratulations, Sanjana. I believe you are opening your account for the first time, right? I have not seen you getting score. Have you participated before in this quiz programs?
Yes, Prabhuji. Last lecture I had attended, Prabhuji. I have answered.
Oh, very good. Very good. Very attentive. Keep it up. Okay, question number 4 coming up now. Sharpen your intelligence. A person performing his duties in Buddhi Yoga gets rid of good and bad reactions of work, scales the forest of delusion, gets out of birth death cycle, doesn't suffer from worldly miseries, and E, all of the above. Tick, 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 tick. This should be simple. Yes, let me give to a new person this time. Priya Sandeep. Yes, Priya. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Pranamam ji. Answer is E. All of the above.
Yeah, sure?
Yes.
All right. I'll just press the button now. And the answer is indeed good. Guy. Good, very good. 50 brownie points to Priya. So Priya opens her account.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you,
nice.
sir.
Congratulations, Priya. Right. Now we go to the last question of the day. And question number 5. Eligibility of a person to attain sthitha prajna stage. What is the eligibility? A. Such a person is not influenced by fruitive results or flowery words of Vedas. B. He achieves achala buddhi. It's coming there. Yeah, he achieves achala buddhi. C. Mind is no longer agitated by pleasures and become indifferent. And D. Gives up attachment to fruits and has conquered the mind. And E. All of the above. Yes, let me give a chance to this time. Only one hand I'm seeing. Sanjana also has. Okay, Sanjana has already answered one, so I'll give to Srinidhi this time. Yes, Srinidhi.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Dhanapram. Prabhuji, in B option, is it Chanchala Buddhi?
In
B
in
option.
B.
Yes. No. I am having doubt, Prabhuji. Is it Chanchala Buddhi?
Whatever
as
I've given, whatever I've given here, you should read it as it is. No clarification on the question mark on the question. Whatever I've given, that's the question. So you have raised the hand now, so you have to answer.
Prabhuji, it is A, C, and D.
Huh? Are you sure? Okay, I don't know. Who else has raised the hand? Let me see. Okay. So shall I lock it? A, C, and D? Answer yes or no. I mean, you have an option
Prabhuji,
to say.
option E, all of the above.
Option E, all of the above. Now you changed it, okay? Shall I lock it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hey Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, your first answer was right, Srinidhi.
Oh, okay.
C and D was right. Why did you change? Because you should have known that B have deliberately used Chanchala, not
Mm.
Achala. The word said Achala. I have deliberately used Chanchala here. It is not a typo mistake. That's why when you ask the question, what was my answer? I said, read it as it is, you're seeing it. Isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Never mind, it's a good try. I like to make it little bit, I would not say complex, but little bit, otherwise it becomes too easy. Somebody who has got an eye to see the mistake, then he or she will be able to give the correct answer. Okay? So, never mind. Thank you all very much once again. And whoever wants to leave can leave now, but I want to keep 5-10 minutes open for questions because there was a request by Saptadeep last week that we should keep some time for questions and answers. So if anybody has got any questions for only for this week's session or even for any other previous week, you can ask now. And others who don't have question can leave if they want, but if they want to stay back, they can stay. Option is theirs, but maximum 5 minutes, not more than that. So I'll stop the screen sharing and yes. Yes, Anusha has raised the hand. Please go ahead, Anusha. I presume it's for the
Hare
question.
Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam.
Your voice is cracking.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Is it audible now, Prabhuji?
Now it's better, yeah.
Yeah. So my question is, how do we actually position ourselves in Buddhi Yoga? Is it a gradual process, step after the other? Or how do we evaluate with a yardstick that we are operating in the consciousness of devotional service? At times we deviate, at times we actually perform. So consistently, how do we incline ourselves in operating from the Buddhi Yoga platform?
Yes. Very good question. Very good question. See, the most important part is for us to realize that we are conditioned souls. Conditioned to what? Conditioned to the modes of material nature. And the modes are mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. These three modes are the binding modes in this material universe. And we are born in this material universe. So we are conditioned to these three modes. It is analogy is given like these three modes are like intertwined rope. When you see a rope, the three parts of the rope, you just go on, I think it becomes a rope. So like that, goodness, passion, ignorance. Goodness, passion, ignorance. Now, we have those qualities as well. So when we are acting in those qualities, automatically we are acting in the realm of material world. Okay. Now, the question is, how do we know that? First of all, to go to Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, do we have to go through this process? The answer is yes and no. Yes, because it's a slow evolution process, very slow evolution process. It will take several lifetimes, but with each lifetime, you will make some progression. But it's very maybe if you do your Vedic rituals properly this lifetime, next lifetime you get promotion to either to a good birth, rich family, where you can get more facilities. And mean that if you further do the activities properly, you may get heavenly planets. And then you are again frustrated and you come back to the earth planet, then you start practicing Bhakti Yoga. So this is a very slow evolution. And the other evolution that Prabhupada gave us through this movement is the evolution of the journey of escalator. In my Bhagavatam class, you have attended several times, we talk about the escalator, that is a lift process. instead of going stepwise,
Yes,
if you
brother.
want to go to the 100 floors, you can go by every 10 steps, you climb and you get exhausted, and then you wait, again you go, and then sometimes something is hurting, you come back, you forgot something, there you come back, like a snake and ladder game. So either you do that way, which is very tedious, very cumbersome, or you just press a lift button, the lift door opens, you go inside, press the lift button, and there is a button called as Goloka Express, Goloka Dham. And all this, our Guru Tattva, everybody is there. Press that, pray and pray. The lift opens, and your Guru Maharaj is there to receive you and then introduce you to the Lord. So this is the bhakti process. So for that, what we have to do is do your regular activities, but say Krishna, 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 I am doing it for you, Krishna, I am doing it for you. Everything is Krishna. Sarva Kalam Idam Krishna. Everything is Krishna. There's nothing that is separate from Krishna. It's either Krishna or Krishna's energies. It's separate energies. So we are playing in the separate energies, and then we are forgetting that it is Krishna, because we have completely detached ourselves from Krishna. That's why now we are thinking that, oh, Vedas are there, we should follow Vedic principles, and then Karma Yoga, then we'll go to Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, then we finally come to Bhakti. It's a very slow process. So the whole process of this Bhagavad Gita is to teach us that we don't have to go through this ladder process. We can go through a lift process. And this is a question that I have asked. The answer will come in the 16th and 17th and 18th chapter. Complete clarity, with full clarity. But I have given you an answer because you have asked a question today. Relevantly, I have answered that no need to go through the slow process. So the process is, we are chanting and we are associating with Bhagavatam, which is above the treatise of Vedic rituals, because that is absolute knowledge. Okay, and then we are associating with pure souls, so that is directly pure. So we are basically practicing something that is purifying our activities and ourselves. Purification. That is why it is called as Bhakti Yoga process. We have entered the train. Goloka Express is not a train that is going to Mahabaleshwar or Matheran. It is a train that is going to Goloka Express. Wherever we have the faith, we don't get down, this train will take you to Goloka Express. That is a faith and conviction you must have. Goloka Dham. So it's just a matter of junior KG, senior KG up to postdoc. But we are all there. We are there in the right train. All right?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Because I'm traveling also, I can envision it right in front of my eyes. So, like going in the lift and Guru Maharaj opening the door. We are actually traveling, discussing about Guru Maharaj, and you're mentioning this. So happy, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranamas.
You're blessed with Guru Maharaj's thoughts is coming. That means you're blessed. Okay?
No,
All right.
Prabhuji, it is actually through the association of his devotees. So, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare
That lift process and escalator process you reminded, and what we should do to get there, you have thrown a clarity. You have to keep up to the Bhagavatam process, keep associating, and keep saying Krishna, Krishna, and all the works. So, this completes the answer and gives me a lots of clarity. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, one last question from Srimidhi.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dana Pranam. Prabhuji, my question is regarding Nishkama Karma Yoga and Sakama Karma Yoga. That are there two types in Karma Yoga like that? And is Nishkama Karma Yoga is same as Karma Yoga?
Karma Yoga, in the broad sense, if you see, okay, Nishkama Karma Yoga will come part of Karma Yoga. Because it's like, you're in which university?
CMR Institute of Technology, Prabhuji.
Okay. Now let's say in that university, in the Institute of Technology, there is somebody who is studying com science, and there is somebody who is studying electrical engineering. Okay. Both are little bit different, but yet they both belong to the same institute. Correct? So similarly, Karma Yoga has a broad sense, because Karma Yoga has a broad sense has include several types of activity. Basically, karma means activity. And the moment you say yoga, Karma Yoga means you are doing some activity at a higher realm. Now, when we talk of Nishkama Karma Yoga, then what's happening is you're almost there, you're practicing detachment, you're detached from the results, you're detached from your, that is fruits, you're detached from your work also. Okay. But what is not there yet, it's almost there, is bhakti. See, in bhakti, what happens is this thing is not there. That is, there is no attachment to the results, there is no attachment to the work also. You're doing it as a duty, but you're doing it for Krishna. That is bhakti. So you're adding Krishna in the center and you're doing the same work. In Nishkama Karma Yoga, okay, which is in many places written Nishkama Karma Yoga, oblique Buddhi Yoga, it is to be understood that you're almost there, because Prabhupada doesn't like to talk too much about Nishkama Karma Yoga and Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so directly he talks about Buddhi Yoga, because ultimately for us as practicing devotees, it's Buddhi Yoga that matters, or Bhakti Yoga that matters. But in the technical sense, Nishkama Karma Yoga, you just know, you have Jnana, you have this the complete Jnana of Sankhya philosophy. Okay, and you know that you are not this body, but you are the soul, and you know that there is Paramatma. Okay, but there is no love for the Lord. The devotional service, there is a prema. That means I am doing this because I am the child of the Lord. That there's an element of love, like how the child and mother love each other, or the father. That is actually devotion. So here it is, Nishkama is more like a duty bound. Okay, whereas here, whether you tell me or not, I'm not bothered about the result. It's purely love. The child loves the mother so much that mother sends the child to buy to a shop to buy a box of sweets, because the mother knows that the child loves the sweets. They say kaju katli. The child goes, I think you also love kaju katli, no? So the child goes and brings kaju katli box, and because the child loves the mother, it opens the box and first offers the box to the mother. Mother, you please have first. I love you so much. You're doing so much for us. You please have first. And then there is a tug of war with mother. Mother says, no, you have first. Child says, no, you have first. And finally, the child is so happy that the child forces the mother in the mouth. You have first. There, the mother becomes like a child to the child now. You get the point? Activity is the same. And then the child takes out that from the mouth of the mother also and eats. That is love, no? That is prem, no? This one cannot do in the office to a boss. तो थप्पड़ खाएगा, है ना? So there yet the duty is done, but it will be more like dignified and protocol respect and all that. So that is like Nishkama Karma Yoga. Got it? Clear, na?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Welcome. All right. I think there are no questions. If there is something, you can always, anybody can write, send a message in the chat box, or in our WhatsApp group. And hope today's session was. Is there anything in the chat? I see something. Okay. Key learnings. Love the fact. Okay. Okay. All done. Okay. So we'll end the session now, and wishing you all a happy weekend for tomorrow, and begin a new week completely Bhakti Yoga, Krishna conscious mode, Bhakti Yoga mode. Correct? Because we are doing our duties. We are not refraining, but then we will do it in Bhakti Yoga. Krishna is in the center. I want to do for Krishna. If I'm a student, I'll study for Krishna. If I'm a housewife, I'll cook for Krishna. If I'm a professional working, I'll work for Krishna. The results are for Krishna. Everything is for Krishna. And I don't want anything. Okay, all right, we'll end the session now. Hare Krishna to all. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavvrindaki jai.